Are you a painting business owner or a manager of a painting business that is just getting excited and looking to implement Zapier, Make, or some other automation tool in your business? Before you do that, I want to go through the number one pitfall that all of the clients that I work with experience, which then leads them to a bunch more pain and ultimately needing a lot more help and costly solutions to figure that out. So I'm going to explain that in this video. If that's of interest, stick around and let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Chris. I am the owner of Boolean Automation and Boolean Review. Those are two different services that we offer. One is an automation consulting business where we help painting companies free themselves up to do what they love. And the Boolean Review software is a Google review generating software solution that automatically integrates deep into your project management system, send follow-up requests, emails, and texts to your customers to get them to leave you beautiful SEO-rich reviews on Google, on Yelp, on Facebook, wherever you need them. That's what our software does. So if those two things are of interest, see the links below for more information. Now, let's get into this topic of the most common mistakes that I see. First thing is, I see people, they look at their systems, and I always say the average painting company has somewhere between 7 and 10 software applications that they're using in their business. And out of the box, those don't talk to each other. So the danger that many people fall into is they have all these disparate data sources, and someone in the business, maybe that's you, discovered Zapier or Make, and you think, hey, let's just slap some automations together and zap this thing over there and zing that thing over there, and we'll automate all of our problems. But I would caution you before you do that, the number one thing that happens is in order to grow, people start connecting apps together. But you can't just go from apps that are not connected to automation. You have to put in place some architecture. You have to come up with a plan. The analogy that I like to use is, let's imagine that you're building a house and you have a bunch of stuff that this house needs to do to serve the people that are eventually going to live in it. But the house is the business processes and structure that you're about to put in place and the automation. So it would be ludicrous for you to build a house without having a set blueprint on what you're going to do. And that is the exact same thing that happens with automation. When you just start automating things, it's the equivalent of a home builder just ordering a bunch of stuff, starting to put walls up. They're adding drywall. There was never a foundation in place. Drywall over the places where there's supposed to be plumbing. Electrical's not put in yet, and we're already trying to finish the molding and everything. Stuff is just happening out of order. And that's the same thing that happens when you implement automation. You have to come up with a strategy. I call it the data blueprint. What is every piece of data that your painting company needs to run its business? And do you have that accounted for in a software? So that's the first thing. Literally sit down and you go through each silo of your business, which is typically going to be reception. You got marketing, you've got sales, you got operations, and you got finance. So in each one of those, there are certain data points. And when I say data points, I'm talking about like the customer's email, phone number, name, their address, the colors that they want, the square footage of their house, the link to their quote, the link to the work order, their deposit amount, like all those little details. You can make a list of every comprehensive, and I would say generally it's going to be around 100 to 140 data points that a painting company needs to process a job. That might sound crazy high, but if you go through and you notate every single little detail, then you can map out and say, where does this property exist in our scheduling software? Where does it exist in our CRM, in our estimate tool, in our project management, in our finance? And what are all of those properties called? Because you need to make sure that if you have interior painting in one system and interior in another and INT in another, you're just making it harder for those systems to talk to each other. So by making a data blueprint before you do automation, it's going to save you a massive amount of pain. But going back to this person that you say, hey, Chris, I don't need your data blueprint. We're doing fine. What's going to happen is you end up creating processes in your business that you end up, like I was going back to this house analogy, you have a half-built house and you're about to put the second floor on and do some more interesting automations, but it turns out you don't have a foundation because you never took the time to make the blueprint. You have pipes that are coming out of the wrong places. You don't even have electrical in a room that's now totally finished out. That's what happens. And so the only way to move forward is to literally trash the whole house, build the foundation, and then rebuild it. But the problem is you already have people using those automations in your business. And that causes a lot of problems because those people are depending on the automation to do their job. So it's very hard to go from no automation to some not thought out automation and then have to go back to no automation again, because you're going to be making everyone's jobs harder. But that's really the only thing you can do to get to the place of more sophisticated and strategic automation that scales. So that is the number one thing that I see painting companies mess up. And if you're interested in help with developing that data blueprint, I would be more than happy to schedule a free consultation, see how me and my team can help you. And like I said at the beginning of the video, if you need Google reviews, check out the Boolean review system. Like this video if this is valuable. If you're in the painting world and you want more content, you can subscribe. My name's Chris with Boolean, where we free you up to do what you love. Thanks for watching, guys.